Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Womogi Team's breakfast show. This morning we didn't have breakfast as such because I was having to do the garden so that the garden waste can be collected, and therefore I spent time doing the garden instead. And now it's coming to 6 o'clock. Basically 10 minutes to 6 on the third Monday, the 3rd of March. This is when I've found time to sit down and have something to eat. Okay, I've just drank some water and I'll show you what I've done in the garden. Guruguru Manor House basically is heaven on earth. So I need to tell you this. Some of you are not keen on looking after yourself when you're on earth. Let me tell you this, and let me tell you very, very clearly. You know, if you come to England today, in 2023, if you come to England today, 2023, okay, and you go to church on Sunday, go to a typical Church of England, okay? Catholic Church, leave them alone. I want you to go on a Sunday to a typical Church of England church. You'll find children and the elderly, retired elderly people in the church. And they will, if there are many, they will probably number about 30, if there are many. All of them, the children, including the adults, they will number about 30. And of course, the children, they are born by younger people. So those children, they would be accompanied by their parents. Most of the children and the parents that are in the church, they may be Africans, mostly. They may be Africans or black from the Caribbean, because Caribbean people have a strong sense of religion. So, but they are mistaken in some sense, because the Caribbean people who have decided to change themselves into Muslims, they decided to go and have a circumcision so that they become Muslim. They have chosen Islam because they think that Islam is not an oppressive religion. They think that if they are going to Islam, like I think Farah, this man who talks a lot, Farrakhan, he talks a lot. He is misguided. He thinks that he's a civil rights leader, but he's misguided. When he's talking about Africa, he talks about Africa. He has never been to African countries. Let him go to African countries, he will just shut up. He will cease to be a leader. He's not a leader. He's just somebody who whips out quick, what do you call it? Quick, okay, he's witty, an orator, and that's about it. The rest of it is rubbish. Why don't you humble yourself and then you go and learn something about Africa properly, where your origin is, and then you try to find out if you are now so wealthy, Mr. Farrakhan. Why don't you start taking Africans back to, black Americans back to Africa? We have space in Africa, enough for all of us. We can all fit in Africa and we'll do well. You come to Africa and then help us handle these white people who are now, we are seeing the end of their reign over us, okay? No more white rule, as the Asians have come up to now, dominate America and dominate United Kingdom. We are not going to allow Asians, by any means possible, we are not going to allow Asians to control the Commonwealth. Never, ever, never, ever. That will not happen. Asians to control the Commonwealth. Asians, we know Asians. We are a big man, big old man, almost old man, big man with children and grandchildren at home. The Asians will call you boy, come here, boy, come here, boy. The greatest disrespect you can get, and especially Asians in Uganda. In fact, in East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, they're the same. They have that attitude. They have not gelled with anybody. If they marry an African, they treat them as slaves. Yeah? But at least those ones who get married, they have got a sense, because they get married and they go and pay respect to their mother-in-law. Actually, they will kneel down and crawl in front of the mother-in-law to show respect. So that shows that they have learned something. But Asians who just marry Asians and they stay in Africa and they will be sent away again. I can guarantee that. They will be sent away again. In Uganda, they will be sent away again. And that's coming. And it's coming quick on the Asians, if the Asians don't learn something very quickly. But then Asians will not rule the Commonwealth. No way! No way! No way! So the white man rule has ended. Everybody will realize that around about the 1st of January 2024. But then the white man rule has ended. Okay? Anyway, for evening tea. So for breakfast this morning, we are going to have the garden. So we have done a video, but we didn't do the video of recording of what was being done. What is it called? We didn't do the recording of we didn't do the recording of the what do you call it? We didn't do the recording of the actual mowing of the garden. But then I was also so quick. I wanted to do it in 30 minutes so that I don't miss the truck for collecting rubbish. The garden waste. So I couldn't record the before and after. So after 2 weeks, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it properly, and I'm going to do it over a weekend so that I can record the before and after. Okay, so you'll see before and after. We mow the garden every 2 weeks. So that's going to happen. Okay, I have something interesting about Arabs. I wanted to forgive Arabs, but I don't think Arabs they cannot be forgiven. So Farrakhan, Mr. Farrakhan, let me tell you something about Arabs and the slave trade. Arabs were the first to start slave trade. That's the inhuman trade that you are blaming white people about. White people now thought they did very well trying to breed black people who they capture. Breed them. Breed. I use this deliberately because if you are strong, then you are given many women so that you can sleep with, and they want your offspring so that they can sell them on and also keep them on their farm. They will breed you. Secondly, they will breed people who have got brains. They will breed them. So then that happened. And then not only that, they will make sure that they were not caring about looks or anything. No. It's not about looks. It's just about bringing wealth in their hands. Money. But money is not wealth. I will tell you later on. Money is just rubbish. Money is just a source of enslaving the black race again, over and over. But then it's not only enslaving the black race, it's enslaving white people now. Because few people hold money, a lot of money, and those few now begin to order others around. Jack Bezos, is it Zuckerberg, is it all these others. They have money, a lot of money they don't need. And because we have now been trained to think that without money we cannot do anything, we need money to do something. Our brain has been trained to think that way. Because of that, okay, what has happened? We sit back and, I'm unemployed. Why do you want to be employed to do something about yourself? You don't need to be employed to do something. Do something. I'm unemployed. You just lie in bed. I'm unemployed. I'm not employed. You lie in bed. What are you waiting for? Then you start thinking. Your brain starts racing. Before you know, boom, you're in mental hospital. So I wanted to send a message to Mr. Farrakhan. Mr. Farrakhan, I'm back on you. Mr. Farrakhan, Arabs were the ones who started the slave trade. But Arabs were catching more slaves than white people were. White people went to this place they call Nigeria now, Niger area. white people went to Niger area, Nigeria, Niger area. That is Mr. Well, I have his book here. Mr. Captain John Deltry Lugard. Okay, Captain John Deltry Lugard. After he established the British Empire in East Africa, he went to Nigeria. Okay, he went to West Africa to work with the Niger Delta. The Niger Oil Delta. I'll get it in full. But actually, a company sent him to work in the Niger Delta to control palm oil, and that was necessary because here depended on that palm oil. Now, the palm oil eventually is now being controlled in where? In Asia, because they ferried the seeds and they planted them in Asia. Palm oil never was Asian. Palm tree was never an Asian species. It was an African species. But they've now taken it all over the place. And Nigeria and West Africa, they struggle to sell their palm oil now because Asia is sending most of the palm oil around the world at cheap rates for the benefit of the white people. Now, this is what I'm telling you. The Arabs caught more slaves in Africa than the white people. Why? They were using rudimentary methods more than the black people, more than the white people were doing. The white people would use ship to transport their slaves. So they can bathe them, they can feed them at some point. They bathe them, they feed them, although most of the slaves are chained, so that they cannot escape or mutiny. Okay, so, but then at least the white people, what they would do, they would get the slaves out, wash them with seawater, wash the slaves, feed them a little bit as they're sailing to the Americas and the Caribbean. Okay, so more slaves arrive in the Caribbean than the Arab slaves who are walking from Africa to the coast of Africa, or you walk from the interior of Africa right up to Egypt. You walk from the interior of Africa right up to Morocco. You walk from the interior of Africa right up to Tunisia. So the North African belt where the Arabs are. These Arabs came from Turkey. The Arabs who are in the north of Africa. If they say they're not Africans, they should go back where they came from. The Arabs who are in North Africa. They don't want to be in Africa, as they say, that Africa is across the Sahara. They created the Sahara in the first place. All of Africa was full of forests. Now, the Arabs, they just, because they cannot fight in forests, like white people, they cannot fight in forests. So what they did, they had to destroy the forests, and they created the Sahara. The Sahara can be irrigated, and we need it irrigated. The Arabs now have money. Out of their businesses that they have done, Arabs must irrigate the desert. Gaddafi could do it. The rest of the Arab countries can do it. Do it so that we can have the African continent back to its dark continent days, where trees were everywhere and forests were all over the Sahara. There was no desert in Africa, only created by man. Now, the slave trades that the Arabs were catching from the interior of Africa were walked to the coast or to the Arab belt, which is to the north of Africa. Now, only 20% arrive. And at one time, they would catch up to 20,000 slaves. So if they catch 20,000 slaves, only 2,000 arrive in the coast of East Africa, like in places like Zanzibar, Pemba, and Zanzibar, Pemba, and I've forgotten that name. So Kilwa, I think. Kilwa, yes. There are different names nowadays, but those coastal areas that supplied the world with imports and exports from Africa. Those coastal places, the Arabs, when they catch their slave, when their slaves get there, it will be only about 20% of the population of slaves that they have caught. So Arabs were bad slavers. They were bad. Secondly, if the Arabs take you to Zanzibar, they will treat you like the white people treated Arabs, slaves in the Americas and the Caribbeans. They will breed you, they will work you, and the good ones, if they find that the slaves themselves cannot breed themselves enough, the Arabs will start making love to the slaves themselves. But then the offspring of those relationships, they call them slaves again. But then they'll try to keep them in the house with their wives. So then, if the Arab or the white people were doing the same thing because they're sharing information. Okay, so there was no slaves caught from England or America because all these places they were just English or the British dealing with all these things. You see, that's cruelty to the level which cannot be imagined in this period. Okay, cruelty to the biggest degree. Okay, why is then children that came out of a relationship of the master and the slave, the children were taken to work in the house because the master has to give them some sort of responsibility, show them some sort of responsibility because those ones are his offsprings or his workers' children. So they were different color. They were different color. So the slaves call them either house slaves, or if they are a little bit grown and they want to show respect, they call them Uncle Tom. But Uncle Tom could also be amongst the slaves themselves. Uncle Tom could be that person who actually always tell the master everything about what's going on in the slave community. So Uncle Tom. So today, if you call somebody Uncle Tom, they really feel bad about it. But we still have Uncle Tom. We still have got the slave trade going on. Okay, there was not only slave trade on black people. Eastern European was supplying slaves for white people. White slaves. Eastern European was supplying white slaves. Now, one in Uganda and in my area where I come, Acoli, one such Eastern European was called Anyadwe by our people because she was the wife of a trader and a businessman, and someone now they baptized them explorers, but they were just travelers. They were explorers, they were travelers and businessmen. So they went to hunt elephant, and then they take the ivory to China and make money over there, come back here in UK, and they are very rich. And in fact, some of them are rich up, some families are rich up to today in terms of money, but not rich in the sense of their morals. They are not morally rich. They have money. We call rich. That we cannot. If you want to be rich, money-wise, you need to be immoral. You need to be immoral, and you need to be some sort of a dishonest person. And you need to get away from your dishonesty and make it big. So there's nothing like a rich man who is honest and a rich man who has got morality. No, all rich men are immoral and are dishonest. The English legal system is one of the worst things that has been invented by man. Why do I say this? The first principle of English law is that ignorance is not a defense. So you cannot say that I didn't know it, that's why I did it. If you say it in England, you are dead, my year. You are dead and you will be dying. You are dead, my year. Don't say in England or anywhere where English law is being used that you didn't know. That's why you did it. Because the first principle of English law is that ignorance is no defense. You cannot make it a defense that you did not know. You cannot make it a defense. Never ever. You can never make it a defense that you are unaware that the law said that, and that's why you did it. And yet, if you didn't know something and you are honest to yourself and you are not going to do it if you knew, yeah, you should be excused. English law will not accept that. English law will not. Anyway, more Farrakhan. Arabs are the worst people of all. You can be a Muslim now, but let me tell you, you are misguided and you are misguiding your black brothers and sisters in America. Don't try it in Africa. We will not accept that. Your tongue is just very sharp, like a razor. But then let me tell you something. You're misguided. Completely misguided. I hope that this video finds you. You find me. We sit down, eyeball to eyeball, and we have a discussion. You have a razor sharp tongue. You will find mine is poison. I poison you. I look at you and you are poison. I talk to you and you are poison. Mine is not razor blade because you have to apply pressure to razor blade. But for me, I just talk and it's poison. So, Mr. Farrakhan, stop broadcasting rubbish. Arabs are the worst people of all. Secondly, white people are the worst people of all. You think that money that you have will make you masters. Money that you have will bring for you peace. But why do you die? Why do you die if you think that money can make you be God on earth? And you mistreat people. You make people slaves. You make people do things that they don't want to do. You put people in warehouses and you pay them very little money. They cannot even go to the toilet. You put cameras even in the toilet. You put cameras in the toilet. What kind of sanity have you got? You are just dishonest and mad yourself. So run mad, like the executive director of Invisible Children. He was making money out of actually people's blood. But actually people's blood, you don't mess with it. Before you die, you will know that actually are God's chosen people. Actually, you don't mess around with Luo people. Luo, mess around with Luo, you mess around with God, my friend. But again, Mr. Farrakhan, God doesn't exist. Allah doesn't exist. No. Don't be deceiving people. You go to heaven. There's no heaven. On earth, we are on heaven. And on earth, we are in hell. If you die, your spirit just go and roam around. If your spirit come and disturb people, a witch doctor, we call a witch doctor and we will chase the spirit away. If the spirit want blood, we give them sheep blood. Either a black sheep or a black goat or a white goat or whatever goat that they want to eat. We will give them the blood and we eat the flesh. Now, what do we have for evening tea? Enough is said about Muslims and slave trade and the white people who have lost their authority over the world now. We have bread toast. Then I have an apple. I have mangada, which is 2 clementine. Then I have Washington orange, which has gone through the lab, and we shall be receiving fresh Washington orange from Uganda next year, or shortly. Well, depending on some groundwork, so that we begin to eat things that are organic rather than things that have gone through the lab and changed. This Washington orange does not have seed, and they have changed the color. But just, anyway, I eat it just like one, and that's it. And then I have Pepsi Cola. Is Pepsi Max, which has got 0 sugar in it. Then I have yogurt. Okay, yogurt. The yogurt is like this from Lidl. But I caution you with this yogurt. I will not buy it again. I caution you with this yogurt because it's made out of German milk, and the German, all the European cow and American cows, they have cholesterol in their system. So that cholesterol, if you eat it or consume it, is bad for you. You need to get milk from Africa, especially from Uganda. You need to get milk from Uganda. You need to get meat from Uganda. You need to get fish from Uganda. You need to get organic stuff from Uganda. I'll show you something else. Let me show you okay, what I have here also. I have coffee, yeah, and then I have clementine juice, yeah, lemon, pig lemon. Let me test it. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. But these ones, I buy clementine and I make it myself. This one, I buy it. There's no reason why I should not drink Pepsi Max. This one, I bought it, but I'm not happy that the milk is from Germany. So German, European, American, Australian, and New Zealand beef and dairy products have cholesterol in them. So cholesterol is bad for you, and you need to get your organic products especially from Uganda. Okay, that's where I know you can get your good products. And then here we have Muyemba Atira, or large mango. This is about to get ripe because they take them when they are just young and not ripe yet. Atira in Uganda, they're this size. That's Atira. That's a large mango, but it will be giant, extremely large mango. Children cannot lift it. Children cannot lift this type of mango. If it is grown in Uganda, giant mango. I'm not lying. You go to Uganda during mango season. Here, mango is every year. Here mango, you can find mango every day, all year round. It's wrong. That's why you get cancer. Some of these things are seasonal. God knows why they are seasonal. You think you're playing God. Look at what you have done to your people. You eat a lot, but you produce very little. Why is food less expensive than cars, which are man-made? This one, God is the one who created it, or the Almighty created this. The Almighty created this. You create planes and cars and computers and all that, and then you want it to be more expensive than food? Let me take you and show you something quickly in this video, but you'll get to see it. You get to see it a lot now that you're following this program. Okay, I want to show you this. Look, let's put on the lights first, lights, so that you can see properly. More lights. This is getting a little bit darker. More lights, okay? Now look at this. This is what we call potato. This is potato from Uganda. Sweet potato from Uganda. Sweet potato from Uganda. Another one, another color. Look, that's sweet potato, organic potato from Uganda. Let me show you another one. Another one. Okay? This is potato. Okay? This is sweet potato. Not the type of potato that I see coming from America, which is, they say is sweet, but it's just like if you cook it. Go to Lidl, you see the potato. When you cook it, it becomes very mushy, and then people are eating it. You're killing your own people. That's up to you. You're killing your people. You die. You're making them get cancer. Let them die. Let them die. We eat organic. It's more expensive because you make it so difficult for us to bring it here, but we bring them. We know how to bring them. We bring them. We are going to stay here. We're going to eat our food. You will not get high blood pressure if you eat your food. You will not get diabetes if you eat your own food. Eat your own food. Let them eat their food. Let them get diabetes. Let them get cancer, and let them die. But then we are now getting cancer in Uganda because people are eating fish and chips. Why are you eating fish and chips? Look, this is our version of what do we call this? We call this obaro. Eh? We call this obaro. We get them from the forest for free. We don't even plant them. We get them in the forest for free. The Baganda, they grow them and they call it mayuni. But we get it for free. Obaro, we get them in the forest. You don't even plant it. The Baganda, they plant it and they change their name. Its name, they call it mayuni. But mayuni or obaro is actually a yam. Yam from Uganda. We are blessed. God bless us. God bless Uganda. God bless Uganda forever. And God make us feed the world, please. And God make us get rid of some of these diseases like cancer. Because we eat cancer. Eh? Now it's even worse because they are artificial food. Now they are testing it on explorers. Explorers go to the moon, they give them capsules to swallow. So that they don't go to the loo. They don't go to the loo, and whatever it is, you swallow capsule. So guys, let me go and have my evening tea. I didn't have breakfast today, but I'm going to send you the recording of my gardening. So that's my son, Alvin. He looks like me, doesn't he? His mom says, he looks like her. So we always have a good laugh. Okay, guys, bye.